What's up in War Eagle War Report family? Your guy Ike Jones here. Not doing a typical morning drop today, but did want to make sure we got some stuff out for you. So, what I did for you is I got with my guy Dukes to Scoop, and we had a conversation about the things he's got going on and the direction he sees coming with Auburn football. So, you guys enjoyed that conversation. If you like this content, make sure you hit the like button, share the video, keep subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you guys. Without further ado, the conversation between myself and Dukes to Scoop. Dukes to Scoop, baby. What's going on? How you feeling today?
Man, I'm good, man. Blessed.
Yeah.
Just trying to walk in my purpose in my light. You feel me?
Yeah. I feel that, man. I mean, before we get into the Auburn business, man, I want to talk to the man, Phillip Dukes. You know what I'm saying? I want to get into that.
Yeah.
Newly over on 3, you know what I'm saying, doing your thing over there. Just, talk to me about what you got going on, man, and what the people can expect from you and your new duties over with on 3.
Well, my contract was up. The word got out that my contract was up with 247 and Auburn Undercover, and I wanted to do something more video based. I
Mm.
mean, I think I did okay as a writer, but that's not like my forte.
Yeah.
So, you know, Shannon Terry on 3, came to me personally. We talked, told me like, hey, look, we feel like there's a void in the space for somebody like you. Um, we feel like we want you to be you.
Yeah.
And that was the most important thing for me to be able to get to a situation where I could be my authentic self without having to code switch or change anything. So um my role is, so a lot of people were saying, well, is on 3 just gonna put you on the Auburn side, and is it a lateral move? And there was no way I was gonna do that. Like,
Yeah.
uh, the previous employer treated me really well, and I had made some. I never wanted to compete with them in the Auburn market at all. Like, so
Right.
even when I left, I was like, I'll never, you know, cover Auburn in a particular space. I wouldn't leave to do that.
Yeah.
So the only way I was going to leave was for upward mobility. And so now, with me being in a national role and doing video work as a national recruit and a host, it was just the right time. The timing was right. The offer was right. And I'm just blessed, man, just from somebody, we all got it out the mud together. Like, so just to see people that are consistent, I think is a real win for guys like us.
Yeah.
Um, Even seeing what you guys are doing and what I'm doing, and with everybody who came into the space around that same time, where we had to kind of combat the naysayers and, hey, what are those guys doing? They don't know
Right.
anything. They don't have any sources. So outside of everything else, I just felt like it was a really good validation of the work I had been putting in that a lot of people may not see. And I can't quote my sources, and a lot of times people don't realize how much I was talking to other sites and
Right.
putting out information that my name wasn't on. But I just stayed down to being true to myself, knowing that I would get my just due because the people in the industry were paying attention, even if fans may not have known, like, oh, this dude, Dukes, he's copying it from somebody else, and
Right.
he, all type of stuff. You feel me? So I just had to ignore that and just keep doing what I did, and I was rewarded handsomely in the end with a position that I feel more comfortable in than being a beat writer. So, man, I'm blessed and grateful, and I'm just ready to get to work.
That's what's up, man. So it's the 5-star flex now over on 3. So
Right.
make sure you guys are checking that out. That's on the on 3 YouTube space, right? That's where that's gonna be getting posted.
Yep. On 3 recruits, they have a subset where it's just 1,000% recruiting all the time. Where I felt like I could go get in there, cut my teeth, kind of feel how it is to be a 100% video guy, show host. And
Right.
I think it's good for me, and I think it's good for the recruits to be able to have a place where they can come and be their authentic selves
Absolutely.
without just talking about where they're going to school. So it's a blessing for me, and I hope to be a blessing to others.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw the first one that you had, Jalen. I don't want to mispronounce it.
Jaden Perlotti.
Perlotti, excuse me. There you get.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I saw that one drop recently. So man, definitely, man. I just want to say I'm proud of you, my guy. We
Man.
go way back, so I'm definitely proud of the situation that you've carved out for yourself, man, and much success to you in your future, my guy.
No, I appreciate it, man. Much love.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, well, but let's get over into this Auburn situation, man. National Signing Day is coming up. I really don't know if Auburn has anybody that they could potentially have out there. I know the only other guy that was previously committed who has subsequently seems like he's moving in a different direction with Dimitri Nicholas. But should we expect anything as far as movement from Auburn on National Signing Day from what you've been hearing?
Right now, I don't see anything in particular. I do feel like you could see a surprise, either in definitely in the running back space. Um, there, I did hear a name earlier. I wasn't at liberty to put down to speak on, but potentially there could be a guy, but I'm not 1,000% positive, and I wouldn't even feel comfortable enough to say
Yeah,
I think it's a must, or not a must, but a imminent thing.
right.
But I will say that Auburn is still just kind of checking off their boxes, and if you see some late movement, don't be surprised. But I would only expect maybe one at the most.
Gotcha. So I mean, like, listen, man, we gonna talk real talk here about the situation going on with Auburn right now. You know, Coach Hugh Freeze. You and I talked originally when he got on board about the momentum in recruiting, and we've seen it pay dividends as far as where the recruiting rankings are as they stand right now. But a lot has transpired, you know, in this off season as far as staff movement and all that kind of thing. How do you feel like the landscape of Auburn's recruiting is right now, amongst just where they sit right now, as far as where they were prior to all of this and where they sit right now? Do you feel like it's moved up, down, pretty much leveled out? What do you feel it?
I feel like it's a light reset.
Mm,
Anytime you see that type of change and that type of attrition and just a rebranding of the coaching staff as a whole. So, and I think when coaching staffs are together, they create a certain synergy that becomes synonymous with the culture. And
right.
I think as you bring in multiple people, two new coordinators, now you've got a new D line coach, a new DB coach, another DB coach that left and came back. Uh, I mean, it's just a lot of moving parts. So now you'll see that synergy kind of you'll see where you are recruiting wise. I think for real in the spring portal, you'll
Mm,
see what type of guys they're able to get to visit. You'll see what type of guys they're actually going after, and I think that's when you'll really see how much the needle is moved in Auburn's recruiting based on the hires made on the coaching staff side of things. But as far as just overall, I think Auburn has always had a good logo to recruit behind. I was talking to some coaches earlier today that were just struggling at their schools,
hmm
in particular based on the logo. So with Auburn's logo still being as strong as it is, the fans, who I think are the most important part of what goes on when Auburn is able to get guys on campus, I think Auburn is still holding steady when it comes to the momentum that Hugh Freeze was able to inject into the program with his hire and his efforts in his first year.
Yeah. So, you know, he talked about a little bit prior to early signing day, just kind of addressing, and this was pre bowl game and all that, about, you know, his lack of comfort or his lack of experience with the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he signed, well, not signed, but he hired Will Redmond over from LSU to come in. Do you think that that's going to pay dividends for Auburn? Because listen, you know, if we're being honest, the transfer portal didn't look pretty as far as the results on the field last season, particularly on the offensive side. And you know, there's a litany of reasons for that. I don't think it was a talent deficiency. I just think it just wasn't a proper match. But do you think the hiring of Will Redmond will help a little bit with that?
Yeah, absolutely. You bring in somebody who has documented experience and success in the transfer portal, coming from another SEC West school that is somewhere where we would like to be.
Hmm.
I think that in order to get to that championship level of play, you at least have to get into the top half of the SEC West. And I think LSU is already there, and I think that Will Redmond did play a big part in that, especially when it comes to scheduling visits in the portal. Who are you looking for in the portal? The type of conversations that you're having, and when you have such a new and nuanced situation when it comes to the transfer portal, where you're learning as you go, you're kind of building a house as you move. Having somebody who has documented success is super important. I've heard nothing but good things about Will Redmond, all the way from players to staffers and coaches. So I think he was a major hire, and I think what he does is kind of brings a certain level of experience in a very new field. It's almost like having a startup business and manager for year one going to another startup business. Even though it's like experience, it's still experience, and
Right.
experience is hard to find when you've only got 2 or 3 years of the portal being in this current iteration.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, the transfer portal, like you said, is new for everybody. But Auburn has some ground to make up because a lot of the teams that are making big strides in a short amount of time, they're doing transfer portal. But a lot of young talent at Auburn that hopefully will get an opportunity. You get a chance to talk to a lot of these young guys. Just from what you've seen and heard, who are some of the guys that Auburn fans need to look at and say, from your perspective, that they haven't seen yet, that you're like, yo, y'all don't know, but this guy right here, he's the real deal.
Are we speaking just in terms of the portal?
No, guys that are younger guys like freshmen or redshirt freshmen that are on this team right now.
I think Terrence Love is definitely somebody who's going to turn heads this year. From what I'm hearing, he's up to around 215.
Hmm.
There was a lot of talk about his natural frame being so big that he could play linebacker, but just seeing him, he's a lean 215. I think he could probably carry around 220 easily with his 6'3" frame. And
Hmm.
then some places he would be a linebacker,
Right.
but he has legit 4.4 speed. His hands are huge. He wears lineman gloves. He's a 3X glove guy.
Hmm.
He's somebody that in that secondary can provide that real thump as well as being able to provide coverage without or providing thump without sacrificing coverage. And I
So
think Terrence
he
Love
as
is
far as his frame, he's like Zion Puckett, but like a little bit taller.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
stretch
Okay.
you stretch Puckett out a little bit. That's what
Okay.
you got when you see T Love. I think fundamentally you're not going to find a better cornerback than Colton Hood.
Mm.
Some of the
He
things
did well in the bowl game. I liked what he showed out there.
yeah, absolutely, man. He's a technique guy, nephew of Roger Hood, so he's got pedigree. Multiple people in his family have played at Auburn. I think he's another guy to watch out for. And I'm interested to see how Darren Reed
Mm.
develops. He was somebody who didn't get on the field a whole lot, but
Yeah.
I was hearing in practices he was a load to handle, and I think he's going to do big things on the defensive line. As long as he continues to develop at the pace that he has been, especially late in the season, I think that's somebody else that you could really look forward to making an impact in Auburn.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm with you. I like what I've seen from all of these young men. Of course, haven't seen very much from T Love and Reed in game duty, but I did like what I saw from Hood. A little bit of Reed in the bowl game, so he got some opportunities there. But I am looking forward to seeing what everybody is able to come up with. As far as 25 and going forward recruiting classes, have you had any conversations with any of the people in and around the Auburn program about any people that they're excited about, people who you feel like Auburn are taking an earnest look at?
Yeah, I really I may be a little biased here because he's a player from my community, but I've been watching him a long time, and as he's developed on the football field, I think he's a monster waiting to explode. And that's Tavares Dice of Langston Hughes High School. He's
Offensive
6'5".
tackle,
Yep, offensive tackle.
right?
He goes at 6'5". They got him listed at 280. I talked to him yesterday. He's up to 293.
Hmm.
And what excites me the most is his physical frame. He won a state championship as a freshman in basketball in the highest classification in Georgia, or excuse me, the second highest. And he's somebody that has real basketball skills, but he's lean. He's so lean, and he's also mean.
Hmm.
And when I say mean, the aggression that he has and he plays with, I think is going to really translate well, especially for somebody who is considered to be a finesse player. But
Hmm.
I mean, he's 293 pounds and has a six pack. Like he's one of those type of kids, and he hasn't really blown up on the scene because, well, he's a 4-star, so I can't say that. But his 4-star ranking was achieved after not being ranked and not even having a scholarship offer before his junior year. So
Hmm.
he blew up last year, had a great season at Langston Hughes, and he's somebody who's never been to a camp. So when he gets to camp, I think that ranking is only going to go up. And once he verifies his size, I think Auburn was really pushing for him to commit this past weekend. I think that he's close to committing. I'm not sure if there's enough meat on the bone for him to pull the trigger now. But I think Auburn is far and away his leader. And I
Hmm.
think that he's somebody who, in the class of 2025, at a position of need, is somebody that Auburn should really be excited about if they're able to land his signature.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, man. Well, listen, I told you I wasn't going to take up too much of your time because I know that you are a busy man, but I appreciate you always giving some time to us here at the War Report. Before we get out of here, in case the folks don't know, where do they need to be keeping up with everything that you got going on?
Man, find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes D Scoop. DUKSTHESCOOP. Check me out on the On Three Recruits channel on YouTube. And man, hit me up, man. I always talk back to people, and whether it's positive or negative, I'm always open to feedback. I always want to get better. So man, holler at me, and appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, Dukes, man, I appreciate you chopping in with us, man. We'll definitely catch up with you soon, bro.
All right, for sure.
Yes, sir. All right, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with me and Dukes the Scoop. As always, make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, all the necessary. And we're going to keep cranking out this great War Report content for you guys. Until the next time, and as always, War Eagle.